Sick of being sidelined from your active lifestyle because you have knee pain right below your kneecap? In this video, I'm going to show you some of the best exercises you can do to fix this. What's up? This is Dr. Nick Bonforte. In this video, we are going to be going all over knee pain right below the kneecap. So we have to better understand what we're actually talking about to actually solve this problem. So when we talk about this knee below the kneecap pain, we're typically referring to this patellar tendon. It's technically called actual patellar ligament because it's bone to bone, but the purpose of this video, we'll just say patellar tendon because it's very common to hear that, patellar tendonitis. So that's what we're typically dealing with when we have that pain right below the kneecap to this patellar tendon region. And what this is when we do a lot of things like running or jumping, we are putting stress through this patellar tendon and also the quad tendon into the quad muscles and everything along those lines. But the thing is, when this area is sparked up, there's just too much load going through this area, and it's basically speaking to us saying, hey, we're a little bit in pain, because there's slight micro tears in this when we're dealing with a tendonitis type of issue. So the idea here when we're dealing with this type of problem, we have to actually scale back and put directional load to beef up this area to take a bigger punch so that next time we do the activities that we want to do, like running or jumping, it can withstand that. One of the best things to start with when we're dealing with patellar tendonitis is to isometrically load this region because it will have an analgesic effect, meaning it lowers the pain to this area. And then also isometrics, we're not dynamically moving, so we're just staying still and building strength, which helps us build a foundation that we can actually work off from. So we'll start here. This is just a box against the wall, and the idea here is I'm just gonna be kicking into the box, building isometric. So I'm not actually just kicking it, I'm kicking into it, but I'm not moving because it's against something. What this is doing is building isometric load to this quad and to this knee, patellar tendon region to basically beef it up, and also the isometric plays a role in lowering the pain. Now when we're doing this, we can't just push into it very gently and just hang out and think about what we're gonna have for lunch. We actually gotta really build isometric strength into it, and we're gonna build up to that capacity. So we're building up our effort, 50% effort, 60, 70, 80% effort, building up to our greatest, safest effort on the isometric. Then when we're dealing with discomfort or pain, we don't wanna push through the pain, but we wanna push right below it or right into it where we're poking it a little bit to actually get adaptation to this area. So from here, we're just kicking into the box. Isometrics, I usually like to start with anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. And then for this specific exercise, and then relax. And then we'd be repeating this to actually build that strength. Now, the concept here of building isometric strength is the main idea here. This is just an example of kicking into the box, but there's also levels of progressions to isometrically load the quad. So for an example, a higher level isometric would be doing something like a wall sit, where we're against the wall, we're just holding the position. That will bias the quads into patellar tendon. That'd be a higher level isometric exercise than this one. This is more of a lower level exercise for an isometric standpoint. So from here, again, we're just pushing into the box, feeling the quad and the patellar tendon actually work, holding that for a designated period of time. In this case, I typically like about 30 seconds to a minute, holding that, relax, and then we'd be repeating about 3 to 4 rounds so that we're getting enough time under tension to the surrounding area to then teach the body how to withstand more force to the knee. Hey, real quick, if you're liking this content, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It really helps out with my channel, and I really do appreciate it. All right, back to the content. The thing we have to keep in mind is the actual rotation at the knee. When it comes to the knee, we always just think the knee just bends and straightens. But in order to do that, in order to actually straighten the leg totally, it has to rotate at end range. So end range extension, when it fully straightens, it rotates, which is called the screw home mechanism. Then when it's fully straight, to actually bend it, we have to unlock it, which actually causes rotation. Now, the muscle involved in that is the popliteus muscle, which is behind the knee. but we're not going into depth on the muscular or the anatomy in this component. The idea is just we have to make sure we're thinking, we have to improve rotation to the knee to actually then get this knee functioning better, because it can lead to a lot of compensations if it doesn't actually rotate well. So with this, we're just using a slider. Now this doesn't need to be a slider, this could be a shirt on a wood floor. It could be anything that you could place your foot on that it actually can move. Now with this, we're thinking of stabilizing the knee, so the sides of the knee, and we're just thinking and visualizing a rod going through the shin bone here, and it's connected to the ankle, and then we're just moving out and in, and we're swiveling on that imaginary rod, and we're having our hands to the side of the knee to stabilize the knee. And we're just going out and in, working on the rotation piece of the lower leg bone. This will help improve tibial ER, tibial external rotation, and tibial internal rotation, which plays a huge role at the knee. So then we're going here, out and in, and throughout this, we want to monitor that we're not just compensating with the knee. So when we go, with the thigh. So when we go in, we don't want to just go like this or out, go like this. We want to really have a good mind-body connection to this, where we're just focusing on our ability to actually rotate in and outward, and not forcing positions with either our compensating with our thigh or our ankle. We want to stabilize everything and move and just focus on pure rotation. And when we do this repeatedly, we actually improve the rotational capacity at the knee, which then overall helps it function a lot better. With this exercise, we're working on hip stabilization and balance, which plays a huge role down the chain at the knee. Because if we don't have good stabilization at the hip, I'll exaggerate it for a second, it will lead down into the knee and cause a lot of compensations, potentially going inward, repeat that over time, some issues. So with this, when we stabilize the hip, we help down the chain at the knee to help more stabilization and strength. So with this, I'm gonna be in a split stance position, so the back foot is just a little bit of support for a little bit of balance throughout this, 10%, 20%, and the front leg is the main working of this exercise. So from here, the knee stays slightly bent, the chest is forward, and from here, we're just bringing the weight out to the side about 45 degrees out from the shoulder, and then we're switching. What we do here is try to basically off shift our center of mass, which we have to stabilize using our leg. When we do this, it can be a really fatiguing exercise to ultimately improve the hip stabilization and strength, which then ultimately helps the whole lower body function a lot better. I really hope this video was helpful and it gave you some insight on things that you could actually start to implement in your current routine to put you in the right direction. If you did find value in this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, like this video, turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video when it comes out. Also, if you're interested in learning more about things that you could do to get out of pain or improve flexibility, or things that you just want more knowledge on so that you can do what you want without being restricted, then book your free discovery call with me or one of my team members. The link is down below in the description. It's completely free. There's no catch. There's no obligations on these calls. It's just to learn a little bit more about what's going on and see if we can actually help you a little bit further. So if you're interested in learning more about this, then click the link below in the description, schedule the call, and if you do decide to schedule the call, I look forward to hearing from you. This is Dr. Nick. I'll see you next time.